Hey, my name's Andy Reid, and this is the Alchemicast right here on Alchemical Records, where we listen to musicians from the DMV and we give them an opportunity to talk about what they've been doing, what they got going on, and anything else they'd like to add. I'm a musician and I've played around the area for the last 10 or 11 or 12 years. It's kind of hard to remember. And I've seen some gigs, in parking lots. I've played some relatively bigger venues and watched them come and go. And I've done a range of things where I've been experienced to artists and lucky enough to play or share a bill with them. In the DMV area, it can be said that we're full of different cultures and backgrounds, as well as playing styles and influences, inspirations, and the whole 10 yards. With me on today's show, I have Dior Ashley Brown, a self-represented hip hop artist from the uptown northeast side of DC, who brings her own special brand of sounds that range from funk to R&B to modern hip hop and soul. Dior, I'm going to bring you on the show and we're going to talk a little bit about your latest release, My City, a music video that was released June 1st. You can find it on all streaming platforms as well as on YouTube. And a little bit about the creator and background of the DC Music Summit, a little bit about what she did to start the idea, the inspiration behind it, and how it's going for her. I'd like to please welcome to the show, Dior Ashley Brown. Hey, how's it going, Dior? Thanks for coming on the show. Really appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, so I hear you've been on vacation. How's that been?
It's been good. It's been good. I was out in LA for a couple of weeks. Good vibes. Saw family and friends. I think I'm still being hit by the sun. I can feel it. Like I'm still seeing the beach. So I'm climbing out of vacation. I'm coming back to work and re-energizing. Yeah.
Man, the beach can definitely be re-energizing. I
Yeah.
recently
Yeah.
moved down to Virginia Beach with my girlfriend,
Oh,
and
nice.
in between when I'm doing work or hanging out with the dogs, it's like a 10-minute walk to the beach. And you can just go there and clear your mind and be in the sun, and you don't have to worry about anything else. The city is so far away when you're at the beach.
Yes. Oh, and honestly, I was stunned at the beach. I was looking at, in LA, Marina Del Rey, I'm looking at the mountains, I'm looking at
Yeah.
the ocean. I was just like, well, I didn't know I could get all of that at once. And amazing. It was amazing to see. I was literally stunned. So yeah, it was perfect.
Did
Perfect.
you make a point to see any of the sights in LA, or was this more of a work personal trip?
It was a little bit of everything. As far as sites, I did. I had to go down to the Hollywood Walk of
Yeah.
Fame. I was calling it everything but the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So I'm actually proud of myself that I got it out that time. But like I geeked out. I put my hands on MJ's hands where he planted his
Nice.
hands, and Hattie McDaniel and Shirley MacLaine, and just Denzel Washington, like people who
Yeah.
inspired creative journey. So that was awesome. That was awesome. Yeah. Yeah. So I got to see some sights. Yeah. I saw the Hollywood sign. I didn't take the walk up because I think it's called the Gutenberg. It was closed.
Hmm.
I mean, just to be there was just so shocking. And I mean, I had Fat Burger. I got an Impossible Burger from Fat Burger.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So I was trying out there. I was still trying to do my vegan tip out there, a vegetarian tip. I'm not a vegan. I'm working on it.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, it was like, yeah, it was dope. It was so dope. It was so dope. And actually, just being with family and connecting with friends. And I definitely went to pay homage to Nipsey Hussle. So I went to Marathon Clothing where his plaza is, to his mural, because I just wanted to be in his vibe because he inspired me in so many different ways. When I saw what he was doing was similar to what I was doing here in DC, that really, really touched me. And when he left, it was a lot. It was a lot to take in as a creative, and so I just felt so connected that I had to go to a space out there. So that was rewarding. That was beautiful. And yeah, I spent a lot of time at the beach too. Yeah, we did fire pits at the beach and burnt s'mores, and you know what I'm saying. I was like, yo, I'm really out here Californian. It was cool. It was cool. The weather was a shock for me, even though DC's been hot and beautiful right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like being out there and it like being 70 degrees and then out of nowhere, it's just like it gets freezing at night. You got to have a jacket. I was like, oh, I see where all the styles come from, all the layers. I get it now.
Yeah.
Not why people wear UGG boots. I was like, why are they wearing UGG boots in 70-degree weather? Now I get it. I
Yeah.
get it now. Yeah, but it was cool. It was
Well,
cool.
it sounds like you've taken some time to kind of reconnect and ground yourself. And California is a different pace and a different hustle than the DC, DMV area, as I'm
Oh,
sure you
so
recognize.
different. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they recognize us out there. I was rocking at an open mic and I told them I was from DC and they showed me a lot of love and they were like, yeah, DMV artists be really doing their thing. I was like, oh, okay, y'all know what's up. Okay. So that made me really proud. That made me really proud. So yeah, 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 it's a different pace. And it's a more of a recording town, which was really
Mhm.
interesting for me. DC is very performative and you don't really realize that until you go out there and you're like, oh, okay, so everybody's really like focused on that product that they're putting out for recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that LA is similar to Nashville. Like
Okay.
in the sense that I've done some recording in Nashville where I did like two different singles and an album,
Yeah.
and everyone there loves to perfect the studio mentality. So they come in the studio to work, and it's all about how they can make the best sound together. And it's a
Oh,
bunch of these session cats who maybe never met each other or they know of each other, and they're like, hey, like groove to this. Here's some Nashville numbers,
yeah.
and they put together something that's really well produced, really well engineered, and the composition is just great from the ground up. I've noticed in LA, it has a performance side, like at Whiskey a Go
Yeah.
Go or the Viper Club, some of these famous venues.
Mhm.
But it also has this famous Tower Records, epithet leaning up against the silhouette of the Hollywood sign that tells
Yeah.
us all the musicians that go west to Hollywood are trying so hard to get that perfect sound.
Mhm.
So maybe we can talk a little bit about your music and how it fits in this culture of the perfect sound in the studio.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. It's crazy because here in DC, it's so like I said, I've done so much performing here, and I've always wanted to perfect my performance more and more because that's how, to me, I connect with the audience, and they really hear me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's more of like a warrior sound. So I'm actually learning how to translate that online via recording a lot more. Like identifiable, more connecting. I'm working on that now. Yeah.
You said that some of your themes are to be boss, to be empowered, be self-aware, and respect Black culture.
Yeah,
How do
yeah.
you use some of these themes in your lyrics?
Oh, yeah. Well, hmm. The reason why I take that breath is because I mean, it's really hard to sum, the ways that I do that. But with Black culture, standing in myself, standing in who I am, and communicating unapologetically my story is, to me, how I amplify and express Black culture. And to be empowered in the same way. I'm a female MC, and we already know how tough that is to be a female MC or a woman MC in
Sure.
this industry. So I'm empowering women by saying, hey, you could do this too. And like I had another discussion. I'm actually at a cookout the other day where somebody was asking me about my music, and I explained to them how I used to listen to like Tupac, Big, everybody, Nas, and I would put myself, kind of like behind the wheel, so to speak. I would put myself behind the wheel of those lyrics as opposed to think that their lyrics were attacking me as a woman. I
Hmm.
put myself behind those lyrics, and and putting myself behind that wheel, I was able to be motivated and inspired by a lot of those lyrics. And I wanted to just put another face on it, another body to it, another story, and that being my woman's story, my Black woman story. So that's the type of music that I create, is that I want you to be inspired by it. I want you to feel boss. I want you to feel empowered. I want you to feel like you can do anything, because that's what music has done for me in my life, especially like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Janet Jackson, they put so much in me, they helped me to believe that I could be anything. And that's what I wanted my music to project.
And with such a strong voice, your listener base is full of these voices that are being amplified as well through your music.
That's right.
Um, Maybe you could tell us a little bit about your recent release, My City, the music video or the recording process, and a little bit behind it.
Yeah, so that track is created and produced by Travis Gardner, who's a part of the Experience Band and Show. And they reached out to me and they were like, "Yo, we got this go-go hit and we want you to spit on it." And I was like, "Oh yeah." And so he sent it to me and the verse came right out. And I wanted to take like I always want my work to have a consciousness of what's going on, but also put that empowering spirit, get you inspired, and also party. I want you to be able to party to it. And I was inspired a lot during this whole summer by Uptown XO, Culture of a Corporate, his album, and by Yada Ya's, People Over Profit. And I think that's how we all consciously work, is we want to work for the people. Me doing DC Music Summit is like a community effort where, we're 100% volunteer. It's passion, it's a passion project of mine. I just want artists to be empowered. And so when I say the line, they're always trying to profit it, like they're always trying to profit the culture, but they don't want to give back to the people. And it's important to me to always have that in there. So yeah, My City is a culmination of, honestly, like what the Black culture has had to deal with in these recent years, with George Floyd and things like that, but also with gentrification. So I wanted to make sure that I put that level of consciousness in there while also spiriting the people about how awesome DC is.
Yeah, and you're talking about your roots and
Yeah.
what the DMV stands on, and
Yeah,
how we come together as a community of musicians and music lovers.
that's right. That's right.
Something I love about our tri-state area is
Mhm.
that you can have gigs at venues or outside of venues.
Yeah.
So post-pandemic, you have all these venues that are, limiting their capacity or operating at a limited capacity, and they open their parking lots. And suddenly you have all these musicians who've been busking or something just to pass the time. They're like, hell yeah, like let's play outside the venue. And we're very adaptable and accommodating, and we can, invite all of our friends and family and sell out a parking lot. So something about DC's go-go background that I love. I played in a go-go band as a drummer for a small period of time,
Mhm.
and something about the music is that it's something you can shake your butt to. It's something that you feel all around, and then you can't help but groove, right?
Yeah.
So something I love about our music is that it's very funky and based in so many different genres, but especially rooted in Black culture.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So maybe you can tell us a little bit about your songwriting process and how you identify these themes of Black culture in your music, such as My City.
So I have a couple questions. So you said in Virginia, you said that they've been opening up parking lots and things for venues for artists to perform.
So yeah, there's a venue I'm thinking of in Vienna called Jam and Java,
Oh,
and during the pandemic they opened up their parking lots and did something called a song and a slice,
oh,
where they allowed musicians to come through and play out front. And I just thought that
oh,
was super clever,
yeah,
because
yeah,
like you're
yeah,
recognizing a problem and finding a solution, which is very DMV.
yeah, yeah. So DC is just opening up. So that's why I'm like, oh, that was going on, but in Virginia, and that makes sense. I was like, oh, okay. And then you said you used to play in go-go bands.
Well, a go-go band.
Okay, who
Yeah.
was it?
So there's this guy named Dami Dow Jones,
Okay,
and yeah, he needed a drummer for a music video. So I found
okay,
myself wearing a suit, learning some go-go tunes, and I stepped up
okay.
and started playing the drums, and we played some gigs.
Oh, wow,
It was it
wow.
was awesome. It was it was so much fun.
Oh, wow, wow.
And I want to play music that gets people up and dancing. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
definitely one genre that like
Oh
does
yeah,
that
that's
for sure.
that's yeah, it definitely is. It definitely. Yeah, we grew up dancing to it, and yeah, it's always been a unique vibe. I remember experiencing go-go when I was at Calvin Coolidge, going to high school there, and I'll never forget like dancing in the in the school cafeteria forever. It was crazy. But what was that question that you asked me? You asked the question right
So
before.
a little
Yeah.
bit more about how you use the theme or themes surrounding Black culture in your music, like My City. A little bit about your songwriting process.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So all of my music is to empower Black women and girls. Everyone can listen to it, everyone can identify it, but with it. But because to me there wasn't enough space to tell our story. There weren't enough artists being amplified to tell our story. I wanted to make it a point to do that. And so oh man, my process I would find to be really divine and spiritual, because the divine uses me a lot of times when people give me I get beats all the time, where people sending me beats or their collaborations, and sometimes the words don't come right away, and then sometimes the words are coming in seconds, and I'm like, oh whoa, this is
Yeah.
okay, this is it, this is what was supposed to come out. And I would say that the process for me really is divine. I also used to do jams called the BYOB jam, Bring Your Own Band jam at the Muzai House, and I used to do purple poetry and pure poetry at Ross Lounge and at Pure Lounge. And so when I was doing those jams and I was freestyling. I used to have a couple of bands come, and we would make songs on beat. Excuse me, on beat, out of nowhere, just completely improv songs. And so I'd be like learning all of these little quirks and things that advanced my sound and brought a lot of dopeness to it. So I would say like my writing is freestyling, divine. Um, yeah, and sometimes when there's a burning desire of what is happening, sometimes I just have to like spill it out. And like during the pandemic, I created a movement called a hashtag More Music for the Movement, where I wanted there to be music to inspire those who were protesting, who were fighting for the lives of Black people and Black culture. And so I took a lot of popular songs that were like on TikTok and Instagram, and I reinvented them and created like these 1 to 2 minute songs. Like remixed WAP remix, and I called it the Revolution remix. I remixed You About to Lose Your Job, you know what I'm saying? And gave it lyrics so that people could be like, yeah, I know my rights, going ask Miranda. And who I am, so you try to slander. I fit the description of black and bold, head held high, unstoppable. You know, like I wanted people to really feel like these songs, like they were feeling them because they was dancing to them when they were right on time, and they were pushing against any transgression. But I also wanted to like add some verbiage for people like, yeah, that's right, that's what we talking about, while they listening to whatever beat. So that was really fun during that this summer. Yeah.
Your music focuses on these powerful concepts
Yeah.
and illustrates some of the hardships over the years that we can definitely all appreciate. And the more you listen to your music, it starts to create this vibe.
Yeah.
I want to take a second to try a segment we've been working on called This or That. And we're going to get back to you and your vibes in a bit.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to drop a few things, and all you have to do is choose this or that and tell me why you chose that. Is that
Okay,
cool?
sounds good.
All right. We're going to start with something easy. Beer
Okay.
or wine?
Oh, I'm sorry, what was it?
Beer or wine?
Wine. And wine because, like, okay, I like beer. Don't get me wrong. I like a Stella Artois. I like a what's it, dog? Dog head. What was it?
Oh, dogfish?
Yeah, I like
Dogfish
dog.
head?
But I knew it was dogfish. I was like, dog head, that fish. So I like all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm hanging out with the homies, I don't mind it. I'm really into like a Sauvignon Blanc because I'm bougie. You know what I'm saying? I'm a bougie girl. I love Sauvignon Blancs, and I love pairing my wines with good food.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I used to be heavy in reds, but like sometimes when you're on your grind and you drink some red wine, you be like, "Girl, take me home, I'm tired." But a white wine is like to me a nice in between. It's smooth, it's crisp. I've gotten into like cavas and Moscato and Rieslings and but Sauvignon Blanc is for the win for me. So yeah, yeah, yeah. I like
Mm.
white wine.
Yeah, I can appreciate both. I feel like the more that you drink wine, you start to really appreciate the different flavors. So you just gotta like drink it all. And with beer, I feel like there's so many different types
Oh
that
yeah.
it's similar to wine in the sense that there's red, white, and rosé. But with beer, you can just like, pick a what do they call it, a porch pounder. If you like your varieties of certain IPAs or something that you can really throw back, like that's an option. That's why you try a bunch of beers, is to find that one that you love.
And,
That
and
I
you
see
know what?
that.
And my desire for beer and wine has had its phases. Like I used to be a beer head. Like what was that spot on 7th Street? What was it called? It was like you go in and it had thousands of beers you could try, and you could have mussels. Like I love beer and mussels, and I also love beer, fried chicken, and red beans and rice from Popeyes.
Mm.
Like that
Mm.
is like we that was like the thing to do when you first move into an apartment. You get your beer and red beans and rice. Me and my friend from Louisiana, me and her used to get down like that. We was like, yeah, we're gonna get our beer. We're gonna get, but yeah. I feel like that has always been like something throughout the years. So now I've grown into like the scent of wine, kind of of that. I love my cocktails, and
Mm.
yeah. I'm right there in the white wine space.
So with pairings, we'll go into the next one.
Okay.
Maryland blue crab or Maine lobster.
Maryland blue crab. I mean, I love lobster. I love a good lobster roll, not lots of butter. Yeah, because if only way I'm having lobster for real for me is if I'm going down to the Caribbean. Because I'll never forget when I was on the Royal Caribbean, which is like this cruise ship, right? And they brought out my lobster, and it was just like this big old fluff of lobster, just like, oh my God. It was just that's the only way I can eat it. You can't give me little bits of lobster.
Yeah, no,
You
you need
can't
the whole thing. You need the
can't
whole
give
tail.
me shredded. No, I told you I'm bougie. I need I need some big fluffy lobster. Oh my goodness. So ever since I had it that way, I haven't been able to really have lobster. So yes, Maryland crab. On this
True.
side, I do Maryland crab straight up. Give me a lump crab meat sandwich. You playing
Mm.
with me.
That hits the spot. I'm going to move to the
Yeah,
next one.
yeah.
Megan the Stallion or Cardi B?
Cardi B. And and I got love for Megan. Megan is actually my sign. We both Aquas. I got big love for you, sis. I really do. And I love that she's a stallion like myself. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But Cardi B has like she's everybody's best friend. She's super funny as I don't know what. And she's unapologetic about who she is. I like that. And I also like I like what was I gonna bring up? Oh my goodness. I love her fashion. Her fashion sense is dope, but that's not what I was gonna bring up. I can't think of it. But yeah. She's that's what I was gonna say. So to me, she leaves the door open still for like a balance of old school and new school.
Hmm.
Her voice, you when she spit and you hear everything, but she can easily be on some trap, and she can easily do some like, old school, let me go for bars. And I really like that about her because she has been able to, I don't even know if she knows it or not, been able to balance that. Not, I'm insulting her. I'm just saying like, I don't even know if she knows how her potential is like even farther than where she's at right now. I really like that she has that balance. And I love artists who can be a little bit of everywhere and they're not just central. You can be centralized in one genre. No offense to that either, but I love that. I love that about artists when they have that versatility, and she has that.
Yeah, well rounded on all sides,
Yeah,
I suppose. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'll throw another one at you. High heels or sneakers?
I've been thinking about this lately. So I have turned back into a sneaker freak. So I used to get a lot of sneakers back in the day. When I was living in Colorado for a little bit, when my
Hmm.
parents were stationed there for temporarily, I was getting I was getting the Cortezes and Nike Cortezes. I was getting this Nike Canvas and all of that. And so now I'm back at getting like sneakers. I got the New Balances, the DC New Balances. Those are fresh, but I think I'm still a heels girl. Ooh, I love my heels. They're not being nice to me recently, but I love my heels. I'm still a heels girl. So yeah, still heels. Yeah. I got love for my sneakers though. I got love for 'em. I
Well,
love a good
it's
pair.
all about how you get around, and I'm sure in LA you've been on that hustle and trying to get around. So whatever
Yeah,
makes you the most comfortable, for sure.
they're gonna put me in Converse in LA. They're gonna put me in Converse for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I got one last one for you.
Okay.
Rolling Stones or Beatles?
Ooh. Uh, about a revolution. Well, we all want to change the world.
Nice.
Oh, Beatles. It's gonna be right there. It's gonna be the Beatles. Yeah, it's gonna be the Beatles. They in there. I guess. Got me all, what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's gonna be because they're the first that came to my mind, I mean, Rolling Stones is bad, hit me. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so hard. But yeah, Beatles, yeah, it's me, the Beatles. They first to come to mind. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they inspired Beatlemania, right? Like
Yeah.
entire wave. The Rolling Stones, they are one of the best rock bands, and Keith Richards is a pirate or a zombie. It's hard to say.
Yeah,
But those are two of the world's greatest bands that they've ever seen, arguably. So it's always
definitely
interesting to
arguably.
see what side someone falls on. Thank you for
Yeah.
playing this or that. I hope you enjoyed that little mini segment we throw in sometimes.
Yeah, that was fun.
And I wanted to throw a question at you that I brought up in the green room. To
Okay.
you, Dior, what does it mean to be a musician from the DMV? It can be a mixture of cultures, backgrounds, years of experience, skill sets, instrumentation, everything. What does it mean to you to be a musician from the DMV?
Mm. Wow. I mean, honestly, for us being in this, government town, you have to have this conscious lens. And I have to, but I feel like we are just born with this conscious lens to call a spade, to want to know the truth, to expose, to be vulnerable, to be who we are. And I've noticed that in just about every musician that I've encountered, whether they be instrumentalists, MC, or vocalists, and almost every genre, is that we are just layered with that consciousness and that community.
Yeah.
And we all want to be great because there's just nothing but great musicians and in DC. We're really about what we do. It's crazy, but we're really caricatures of who we are. Like we are like there are people who I've listened to. I'll be hanging out with somebody and even brand new, and they'll be playing like a playlist of DMV artists for me, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's Wes. Oh yeah, that's Cecily. Oh yeah, that's Chris Styles Bacon." Like I would say the DMV really, I mean, Iwale or Ari Lennox, I know who's playing. And we have really honed in to really being who we are uniquely. And yeah, yeah, we are. To be an artist in the DMV is consciousness, knowing that to be unique. Like we don't really want to be like sounding like a whole group of people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about that for several different genres. A lot of pop stars to me
Yeah.
right now sound the same. So I love the fact that when I hear musicians now, I'm like, I know who that is. It's from our area, and yeah, I think that means honing in your craft, consciousness, and being uniquely you is to be a DMV artist for sure.
Well, Dior, you are one of the most unique artists that I've had on the show. So thank you
Oh,
so
good.
much for coming on and just, embracing it for what it is
Yeah.
and sharing a little bit about your background. I love your spirit. I love your energy.
Oh, thank
And I'm
you.
looking forward to the things that you have to come. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yes, thank you for having me. It was dope.
Is there anything else you'd like to add? Anything you want our viewers at home to know?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. DC Music Summit, right here. I'm super proud of this effort. It is a DC-based nonprofit working to get our 501c3 status. We're raising funds right now, 2,002 months, because we want to take our 501c3 to the next level. So please help us with that GoFundMe. You can go follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at DC Music Summit, and hit our bio for our GoFundMe link. We also are doing memberships right now, and we'll be linked in with some other organizations. So you'll actually get a lot of benefits from being a DC Music Summit member. And right now, until August 31st, it is only $25 to be a member. That's for the entire year. So right now, get your membership right now. Musically, follow me at Dior Ashley Brown. I rock with Iza Flo. It's an all-girl band, funky all-girl band. I work with Flotus. We collaborate together. Our last show, actually, I think it was at Art All Night. It was digital on Art All Night. And just look out for these collaborations and things I'm working on. I do have a project. There's a lot going into it, working on funding to get it out here. Oh, man. Because when you said that I create a vibe, yo, that's what I want people to feel. And I want this music to have a vibe, a whole movement when it comes out. So follow me, watch me. I got you. I got you. It's the girl, Dior Ashley Brown.
Well, Dior, thank you so much for coming on the show. I love your vibes, and I hope to hear more from you soon in the months to come.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, my name is Andy Reid, and this has been the Alchemicast right here on Alchemical Records. Thank you so much for all your time, and have a good rockin' night. Dior, I'll catch up with you another time.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
For the truth since an adolescent. Been a lesson in the stressing. Who's my descendant? I'm black, Latino, Asian, and Anglo. I'm a Django. Listen to my Django. You know my identity. Been in anonymity. Dating enough black for the century. Still looking like an enemy. Cause I rock my curls like a centerpiece. I came from everywhere in the Middle East. I'm mentally unable to take in your fables. I rock mics like Mabel. Pimp words like stable. Mama Dula, remember Medusa. Now these snakes is all lace. Frontin' all up in my face. I tell you if it's grade A, Mayday. Week to week, your payday. How I catch that relay. Out the cradle, but you still can't enable. To knock your sister down, I'ma get down, get down. I'ma get down, go get down, get down. I'ma get down, go get down, get down. I'ma get down. Can't eat that beeswax. None of what you hear, half of what you see. Is it really real? What do you believe? What can you conceive? If they out to deceive, make it harder to achieve. So you switch to flaxseed, hoping you survive long enough to make it reach. All while they twisting what you practice, what you preach. So you go and grab a peach, cause it's all you can eat and consume to your doom. Now you on the upper room. They forgot about it. think a lot about it. Get your legacy against this currency on autopilot. So I need you to be about it, about it, about it.